Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Arya Whitner, and this is your next video update for Wednesday, September 27th, 2017. NXT this week kicked off with our illustrious general manager, Mr. William Regal, standing backstage and announcing that NXT TakeOver Houston, we will crown the hashtag Not My NXT Women's Champion with a fatal four-way match. One of the competitors will be the winner of the Mae Young Classic, Kairi Sane. The other three will be determined in qualifying matches that begin in 2 weeks' time. On the other side of the opening credits, we got Sanity storming the ring to kick off the show. Eric Young said that they wrote the book on making the mark. In this universe, time and space don't exist or matter, and what matters is the chaos. The only thing for sure is change, and tonight, Eric Young will take Adam Cole, baby, to the edge of sanity. Up next, we got our first in-ring action as the undefeated, except in tag team matches, Lars Sullivan takes on ONeil Lorcan. Before the match, Lorcan said that he didn't like Lars, nor did he like what he did to No Way Jose. Unfortunately for Lorcan, no matter what he did, no matter how hard he tried, he did not make a ding on his much larger foe. Lorcan hit a drop kick and a plancha, but neither even took Lars off of his feet. As a matter of fact, Sullivan caught him on the plancha and dropped him face first on the ring apron, which, as a reminder, is the hardest part of the ring. Lorcan chopped and slapped Sullivan, and Lars literally just shrugged it off, took Oni's head off with a clothesline, and picked up the win with his Uranage. After the match, he was about to do more damage, but Danny Burch ran down and pulled Lorcan to safety. Backstage, Ruby Wright cut a promo and said that Nikki Cross is not her friend. She said she does not know why Cross got involved in her tag team match playa, but she did accept Billie Kay and Peyton Royce's challenge for a rematch. Then we got more in-ring action as Heavy Machinery looked to continue their winning ways, and they didn't have a hard time with it, as this week they took on Patrick Scott and Demetrius Bronson. Patrick Scott has made 2 mistakes in life. One was to sign for this match, and the other was to hit Tucker Knight. Knight shook it off and destroyed poor Patrick Scott. Scott tagged in Bronson. Bronson used to play for the Miami Dolphins, so I already hate him. He did fare slightly better against Dozovic. Scott got involved again and got laid out again. And finally, Heavy Machinery picked up another win with the Compactor. Earlier today, Mr. William Regal was having a press conference when Johnny Gargano stormed by. Mr. Regal stopped him and informed him that in 2 weeks' time, he will go one-on-one with The Undertaker. No, actually, he's just going to go one-on-one with Andrade Cien Almas. He also promised to the press something special for TakeOver Houston. I wonder what that will be. And then at some other point earlier today, Christy St. Cloud asked Roderick Strong how he's preparing for his NXT title match next week with Drew McIntyre. Strong said he prepares by being the best. Drew will try to knock him down and out, but Strong keeps moving forward. He's worked his entire life for this and knows he's indestructible. McIntyre doesn't have the tenacity to beat him, and Strong is coming with everything he has, and nothing will stop him until he wins the championship. Liv Morgan versus Vanessa Bourne was next. I beg you to not watch this match. Just pretend it didn't happen. Move on with your life. This was crap. Liv Morgan, if you recall, hasn't been around in a while. I don't know what she was doing, but I can tell you that practicing wrestling was not it. She said that she wanted to be the next NXT Women's Champion. At first, my biggest problem with that was she's had a worse win-loss record than Pete Doherty. But now my main problem is that she really, really sucks. And she won with something that was supposed to resemble a jumping bulldog. Morrow said that he hopes his performance grabs the attention of William Regal. I hope so too, but for a completely different reason than Morrow probably meant. A recap of last week's segment with Aleister Black and the Velveteen Dream aired. At some other point earlier today, Aleister Black was training in the ring when a cameraman stalked him and asked his thoughts. Black said he's not going to give, quote-unquote, Patrick any attention for throwing a tantrum like a child. So this is a shoot because he called Velveteen Dream Patrick. And by the way, how many segments happened earlier today? Like, this was the third segment that happened earlier today at the WWE Performance Center. Thankfully, all these things happened. There'd be a heck of a hole in the show here this week, wouldn't there? Then we got Fabian Aichner, best remembered, possibly only remembered, from the Cruiserweight Classic, where he lost to Jack Gallagher and was never seen again. Aichner gained 30 pounds of muscle and would no longer qualify for the Cruiserweight division. And he took on Cassius Ohno. Cassius Ohno, formerly of Chikara, CZW, IWA Mid-South, and Ring of Honor, he gained about 30 pounds and would also no longer qualify for the Cruiserweight division. Now, I can make all the jokes I want about each man's respective weight gain, but Aichner did a springboard dive to the outside that was a thing of beauty. Like, literally, he ran across the ring, leapt to the top rope in one fluid motion. He did not use his hands to guide him at all. He ran and leapt to the top rope and then did a springboard dive to the outside that Ohno thankfully caught him. Back in the ring, Aichner went for everything when he went for a double springboard moonsault, but he ended up with nothing but canvas, which led to Ohno's comeback, and Ohno won with the Cyclone Kick. NXT Champion of the World Drew McIntyre thinks he's going to win against Roderick Strong next week. He said that it may be his first title defense, but it won't be his last. We got a video package on Kairi Sane winning the Mae Young Classic, and it was main event time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Eric Young to go one-on-one with the officially debuting Adam Cole, baby. Fish and O'Reilly came out with Cole, and for some reason, the sight of Kyle O'Reilly wearing a plain white t-shirt caused girls to squeal in joy. I am not making this up. There was squealing. Someone in the audience had a sign that said, "Where's Hangman?" I imagine no one in production had clue number one as to what that meant. Cole cut a promo beforehand asking how this place survived without the three of them. He asked the fans to close their eyes, take this moment in and feel it. What we feel, he says, is change and a shock to the system. They are untouchable, unstoppable, and undisputed. And this, folks, is their era. The bell to this match rang at 8:54, and recall this is a 1-hour program, so this let you know this was not going to be the longest bout of all time. Cole got frustrated for some reason as Young did not charge at the bell, so Cole charged. Young ducked a clothesline, and it was on. Riley jumped up on the apron about a minute in, which almost led to a brawl between the excessive members of both groups. Cole at one point got Young into the corner and tried to shout, "Adam Cole, baby!" However, Young punched the words out of his mouth, which the crowd didn't know how to react because, let's face facts, crowds enjoy playing sing-along. Young made his comeback, which led to Fish and O'Reilly interfered, which officially led to the big giant brawl outside the ring. Young had Cole laid up for the top rope elbow, but instead dove onto the pile of bodies outside. He ran back in the ring, and he immediately ran into a jumping knee from Adam Cole. And yes, folks, the only 3-time Ring of Honor champion picked up the win, pinning Eric Young here in the main event. So that does it for this week. Next week, it is Roderick Strong challenging Drew McIntyre for the NXT Championship. And until then, I want to thank you all for listening. I'll talk to you again in 7 days.